10 p.m. in Banjul and from our studios MDI Road, this is the news. But first the headlines. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi describes the resumption of diplomatic ties between Beijing and Banjul as an historic moment for the two nations. The Agriculture Minister receives produce from farm cultivated by staff of the Office of the President and Refugee Safora Association. Gambia government and the Food and Agriculture Organization launched a technical cooperation program designed to enhance commercial poultry production in the country. And investigators in Belgium say the November 2015 Paris attack was planned in Brussels. Well, viewers, these and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I'm your presenter, TENENNEG GITTEH. Welcome back. The state opening of the National Assembly, scheduled for today, March 17, 2016, has been postponed till further notice. The postponement of the event was disclosed by the Speaker of the National Assembly earlier today. In what could be described as a colorful ceremony, the Honorable Minister TENENNEG, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of the Gambia, together with her Chinese counterpart, His Excellency Mr. Wang Yi, signed a joint communique establishing diplomatic ties between the two countries at ambassadorial level. Prior to the signing ceremony held in Beijing, the two foreign ministers and members of their delegation held bilateral talks on issues of mutual interest. The meeting, which lasted over an hour, centered on key areas of cooperation, including agriculture, fisheries, trade and investment, infrastructural development, health, education, aviation, transport and tourism, and other specific projects. The two foreign ministers also held a joint press conference, after which Honorable McDowell-Gay was hosted to an official banquet by her Chinese counterpart. As part of her engagements in China, the Honorable Minister was also received in audience by the Vice President of the People's Republic of China, His Excellency Mr. Li Wanchao, during which they reiterated the government's desire to closely work at all levels as envisioned by the two countries. The two foreign ministers seized the opportunity to recognize and commend the two leaders of the countries, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babli Mansa and His Excellency Xi Jinping for their political will, exemplary initiative and important decision to restore ties. Meanwhile, the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, in an earlier interview with CCTV News, said China has been helping the Gambia while respecting its sovereignty. Here's an excerpt.
China into Africa boosts a lot of countries' infrastructure, socio-economic development. This is the type of partnership that we want, because they invest in your country, they help you out without interfering in the internal affairs of the country or dictating to the country what economic system they should have. This is the type of partnership we want, where the sovereignty of the country is respected, the people are respected, and it is mutually rewarding.
The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, speaking to CCTV News in an earlier interview. The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs has highlighted the Gambia government's stance on food security. Ajah Dr. Esirunjai Saidi was speaking during a meeting with gender ministers from the ECOWAS bloc in New York. The meeting, as Babu Kasengo reports, focused on the launch of the technical cooperation program between ECOWAS and FAO.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Esirunjai Saidi, was among gender ministers from the ECOWAS sub-region for a high-level meeting which focuses on the official launch of the technical cooperation program between ECOWAS and the Food and Agriculture Organization. Gender-responsive national and regional agricultural investment plans for meeting the Zero Hunger Challenge in ECOWAS member states. The Food and Agriculture Organization is a key partner in efforts to reducing hunger and malnutrition in the sub-region, and this meeting, delegates agreed, can help in accelerating those efforts. For her part, Madam Jai Sidi highlighted the numerous strides made by the government of the Gambia in the area of food security. This, she went on, earned the country numerous awards. Gambia's food security credentials, Madam Jai Sidi added, has been built on stronger footing, she told the gathering. The new initiative, jointly rolled out by ECOWAS and FAO, is expected to accelerate agricultural investment efforts to meet the Zero Hunger Challenge in ECOWAS. The Commissioner for Social Affairs and Gender ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Fatima Jassou, hailed the new development, adding that the partnership will improve lives and livelihood in the sub-region. Shortly after that meeting, the Gambian Vice President visited the offices of the Administrator of UNDP. Madam Jai Sidi and Helen Clark discussed areas of cooperation between the Gambia and the UN body. Other Gambian delegates, among them the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Fatou Mbaye, and Deputy Secretary General Yam Bambanjai Keita, also attended high-profile sessions on the sidelines of the CSW-60. For GRTS News, this is Babakar Senghor.
The government of the Gambia, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, on Thursday launched a technical cooperation program dubbed Assistance to Enhance Commercial Poultry Production for Food Security. The inception workshop, as Winifred Nico reports, attracted livestock farmers from across the country.
The one-year project, worth close to $20 million, was signed between the Ministry of Agriculture with the overall objective of improving food and nutrition security for the poor and vulnerable women, youths and households, as well as developing the capacity of field agents of the Department of Livestock Services and farmers on modern poultry production techniques.
The Gambia continues to face challenges to food security, including low productivity, high cost, and a lack of modern techniques and technology. To overcome these challenges, food security has over the years stood as top government development priority. Globally also, the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 2, places special focus on ending hunger, achieving food security, improving nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture. Target 2.1 specifically is to enhance hunger and ensure access by all people.
According to Permanent Secretary 1 at the Ministry of Agriculture, the government of the Gambia heavily relies on agriculture and related resources to provide sustainable livelihoods for the citizenry, and the government of the day has been defining and implementing poverty alleviation and reduction strategies aimed at operationalizing the country's Vision 2020.
Following the creation of the enabling environment by the government of the Second Republic, the country has witnessed the establishment of the required poultry sector infrastructure, which will include, of course, hatcheries, feed mills, and processing plants for the commercial poultry industry. Since commercial poultry production greatly depends on the ability to purchase inputs, day-old chicks, medication and equipment, and access to a domestic market to sell products at competitive prices, a large segment of our farmers have not been able to afford the input requirement of this production system.
Poultry, according to livestock experts, is a very important resource that is kept not only for money, which is converted at the time of sale, but also kept for socio-cultural requirements.
This TCP was developed when the government of the Gambia requested for assistance to vulnerable farmers who are challenged in accessing basic inputs for poultry production. Some of these challenges include lack of starting capital to venture into poultry, high incidence of poultry diseases, as well as inadequate technologies to assist small-scale farmers in poultry production. The Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations immediately responded by providing technical assistance for the execution of this technical cooperation project.
Experts say the proper implementation of the technical cooperation program would go a long way towards guaranteeing and enhancing a vibrant, sustainable poultry subsector, as well as increase the active participation of women and the youth. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Winifred Nicole.
The Minister of Agriculture, Ismail Sanyang, and the Secretary to Cabinet, Nuha Toure, on Thursday received the produce from farms cultivated by staff of the Office of the President, the Refugee Support Association of Wenyi Kansala, and the community of Madiana. These are some of the remarks that were made at the brief presentation ceremony.
And to SC, thank you. You did not only facilitate the process, but you also participated in the actual farm work. I remember when we were beaten by the rains during the weeding. To the staff of OP, you have demonstrated the strongest commitment to His Excellency's clarion call for us to grow what we eat and eat what we grow. You have taken lead, and I'm sure that the rest of civil service will follow. Since the Office of the President is the nerve center of government, I know that you have called the Azan Moy Nodane. You have called the Azan, and all those who intend to pray will pray. So I know that with this commitment that the Office of the President has shown, the rest of civil service will continue. So next year, I hope that we will be having more than 20 handing overs in this very venue from all other ministries. I also wish to thank the Minister of Agriculture, especially the Regional Director for Agriculture of West Coast Region and the Director General of NARI, who cannot be here because he's bereaved. Thank you very much for all the support. The Minister of Agriculture provided all the inputs, including fertilizer, but also provided technical support to the farm manager in terms of production. So thank you, DG NARI, thank you, DG DOA, for all the mobilization and support that you have rendered to this process. I just want to say the handing over of this produce today demonstrates a strong march towards the attainment of food self-sufficiency and to the attainment of Vision 2016. And I also wish to say that the Minister of Agriculture would continue to support this process. Next year, we hope that if we get this presentation, that the ministry will also be present in several orders because we've got several directorates in addition to OP. And I'm looking forward to collectively as a government for us to produce over 1,000 bags, 1,000 maize, and 1,000 coarse produce. On that note, let me conclude by saying that, Mr. Chair, I have the singular honor to receive this produce on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sir Professor Dr. Alhaji Ejj Jam.
I am honored to have the opportunity to be asked by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Ejj Jame, to receive this farm produce on his behalf. Therefore, on behalf of His Excellency, I thank you very much for your efforts in producing these items. I think we have about 136 bags of groundnuts from the Refugee Association and Tinteba community combined, and 23.5 bags of rice from the community of Madiana. This is very good, because even if it was one bag, it's highly appreciated. What is most important is the intention to contribute to His Excellency's effort in achieving food self-sufficiency. Therefore, whoever participates in this process is highly welcome, and we don't have much to say except to say a big thank you. So on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic, I wish to assure you that this produce will be put to good use, because they will be plowed back into the Jame Foundation for Peace, and from that foundation every Gambian benefits. So today they are given to the President, true, but tomorrow these things will go back to them in the form of scholarships, in the form of medical assistance, in the form of even Hajj packages, and every other support that the President gives. So I thank you very much. You are doing it for the President today, but tomorrow the benefit is yours. I urge you to do your best to try to cultivate more next year, inshallah, and I'm sure His Excellency will give you all the support that is necessary to do more. I use this opportunity to thank the Chief very well. He was farm coordinator even before he became the Chief, and he has been doing this year in, year out, and we have seen the produce that he has been handing over to the President. So this is not the first time. We thank him very much, and that we hope that he will continue to doing his good job, and that next year we'll have even more.
Officials at GRTS and members of the State Broadcaster Fans Club have pledged their resolve to revive what was once a vibrant body. The commitment was made during a recent meeting between the ambassadors and top GRTS officials. We have more in this report by Farmer Kanye.
As part of his reform plans to put the state broadcaster on a strong footing, fostering the solid tie between GRTS and its fans club is one fundamental step in the right direction.
I knew about the fans club when I visited Radio Gambia as part of my familiarization tour, and I was shown a set of furniture that was donated by the fans club, and I thought that was a very noble gesture, that individuals can put together resources and support a national institution that's as important as GRTS. And it was at that moment, that it was the very first week of my assignment here, that I said I wanted to meet this group immediately, because I think that they represent a lot of value, a lot of social capital for GRTS. And I am glad that I took that decision to meet with them immediately, because my interaction with them has taught me a lot.
For the past years, the GRTS Fans Club have defeated its purpose of establishment. Mamadou Sabali is trying to give it a new lease of life by bringing its members on a reunion with the GRTS management.
I was impressed even more when I learned that they also go out of their way to bring advertisement to GRTS. And I think that's something that should be rewarded, even though they are not asking for it. As I have some management experience. I've done it at Observer, and it has worked very well. That if people bring you adverts, if you reward them, it's natural they'll bring you more. And for them being a part of the GRTS family, I think they deserve that, and I'm sure it will be a moral booster for them. And the same applies to any other person, because we need to go on an aggressive marketing campaign here at GRTS, and we are going to open our doors to anybody, any partners who want us to enter.
His aim is to boost the fans club and encourage its members with the necessary support, allowing both parties to make gains. He promised a 10% bonus on all advertisements which come from the GRTS Fans Club and ambassadors.
I was very happy when the DG, because this has never happened. Sabali is the first DG who has invited both the fan club and the ambassadors for a meeting, at least for the management, the entire management of GRTS, to know who our fans and the ambassadors are. They have been doing a lot of good jobs, you know, at GRTS radio and even at the television. All these setups you are seeing at both radio and television are done by these fan clubs and the ambassadors. For the marketing side, you know, not only the fan club, but everybody, you know, can be a marketer for GRTS.
It's very important to do the cooperation between the GRTS and the fans club and the ambassadors, because we used to contribute a lot of things about a long time now. We didn't even have this type of meeting. This is the first time since we have this, we formed these two associations, the GRTS and the ambassadors. We have never have this type of meeting with the director or one of the staff, senior staff in this television and the Radio Gambia. Now everybody is coming here. I will tell you that, because we have a lot of fans outside, and those businessmen, we know these businessmen. We have people who is doing other things. They need to advertise on the television, and they don't have the way to come here. Since we are the ambassadors, now you will be between the television and those people.
3 years, we don't have meeting, we don't have anything. So this is something which you know that it will bring a prosperity on GRTS Fans Club and then the others.
This move by the Director General to empower the GRTS Fans Club and ambassadors is one way that could help the state broadcaster to regain its financial flamboyance. For GRTS News, I am Famarakani.
And over now to news just in. A budding Gambian portrait artist has presented 5 of his works to the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Ejiji Jame Babli Mansa, through the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service. Agent Silver has more on that.
The portrait speaks for itself, for the personalities captured by the artist are the most recognizable Gambians. This one, though, tends to jog one's memory back to the good old days of the transition. The works of art are by Fabakary Gitteh, a young Gambian who made the portraits to show his appreciation of the president and the first family, as well as to manifest patriotism using his talents.
I am Fabakary Gitteh, hereby making a presentation of these paintings to the President, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, for the good governance and the love and care he shows for the Gambian people.
The creative artist was accompanied to the seat of the presidency to present the works by Tourism and Culture Minister Benjamin Roberts. The Secretary General and Head of Civil Service Suleiman Samba received them on behalf of Professor Jammeh. Mr. Roberts was pleased with the efforts put in by the young artists, which inevitably led to the stunning portraits. The Tourism Minister was quick to pledge his ministry's support to further harness such talents.
We've seen various presentations being made, but I think this one is really of significant quality. And I want to assure the Office of the President, His Excellency, that at the level of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, we would see how we can work with Fabakary to support him, because this is talent. If people have the talent and the ability is there, I think the onus is on us, in positions of influence and authority, to support that talent.
The Secretary General and Head of Civil Service Suleiman Samba commended Fabakary Gitteh for using talent to produce the stunning portrait of the President and the First Family.
His Excellency was highly appreciative of the efforts of Fabakary because of his characteristic attitude of helping young Gambians to be creative and develop their skills. He delegated us the responsibility to thank Fabakary and receive these paintings on his behalf. We are happy to be able to receive this.
Mr. Samba assured the artist of President Jammeh's support while encouraging him to continue showing his love for the president. Echan Silva, GRTS News.
Some beautiful portraits there, and with that we'll take a break. When we return, we take a look at news from beyond our borders. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Belgium's Prime Minister said the nation's state of alert would remain at level 3. That is the second highest after Wednesday's police raid. One man was shot dead as security officials tried to nab a man believed to be one of the suspects in November 2015 Paris terror attacks. As we hear in this report, preliminary investigation suggests the Paris attack was planned in Brussels.
Belgian police conducted what they described as a major anti-terror raid in Brussels. The operation was supposed to be a routine apartment search that began on Tuesday afternoon. It ended in a shootout between police and 3 suspects that night. One of the suspects was killed by police sniper fire. At least 3 officers were wounded during the operations. 2 more suspects were later arrested. In addition to the body of the dead person, police also found a book about Salafism and a flag of the Islamic State. Investigators also found 11 loaded Kalashnikov rifles and numerous shell casings. The person killed was identified as Mohammed Belkaïd, born on the 9th of July, 1980. He was an Algerian citizen. The prosecutor said police are still searching for 2 more people who escaped the apartment where Mohammed was killed. They have not yet been identified.
Well, we take our second break. When we return, we take a look at sports and weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Scorpions coach Sang Dong has unveiled his 20-man squad ahead of the encounter with Mauritania in the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. These include 6 home-based players and reveals a return to the national team for Swansea City winger Modou Seka Barrow. Our Modou S. Jallo spoke to the Scorpions boss shortly after he revealed his squad, and he tells us more.
Star player Modou Seka Barrow has been included in the Gambia's final 20-man squad for the African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Mauritania. The 22-year-old Swansea City wing wizard returned to the national team after a short sabbatical leave with the national team, having missed the country's last 2 international games when he opted to make himself unavailable for the double-header tie against Namibia in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Mo Barrow is among 14 foreign-based and 6 home-based players named in Sang Dong's 20-man squad to face Mauritania on March 25th in Nouakchott, before hosting the Mauritanians 4 days later in Banjul on March 29th. It will be Sang Dong's first game in charge of the Scorpions in his latest appointment as the national team coach. Sang and his technical team has been working for the past weeks to put the team together.
We started training some 4 weeks ago. And we had about 10 training sessions at the goal project in Yundum with 18 players selected locally, and 3 test matches were played during this period of 4 weeks, and we came up with a final selection of 20 players, whereas out of the 18 we had at the training center, 6 were identified, and 4 players from Senegal, the Senegalese League Gambians, and 10 from leagues abroad in Europe.
The list includes 10 uncapped players, with 5 of them home-based players from the GFF First Division. The uncapped players in Sang Dong's squad include midfielder Mustafa Carriol from the English Championship side Leeds United and Mohamed Conte Bays from Boud Football Club. He is one of 4 players in the team playing their trade in neighboring Senegal.
Well, the process is, as I said in my unveiling program, I just said we're building and we want to give chance to everybody. The chances would come at the same time, but different times we'll try and bring a very manageable size of foreign-based players together with the local base to give them the opportunity to show us what they can, and based on that we can build a permanent national team. Maybe here by the next 1 or 2 years we can have a permanent national team, but for the time being we are in the building process, and we're building a team.
Hapoel Tel Aviv's midfielder Hamza Bari and Transvaal striker Pa Ahmad Diba are among 10 players from the European leagues, but the big news is certainly the return of Mo Barrow, coming just few days after grabbing the headlines for becoming the first Gambian to score in the English Premier League in a brilliant performance against Bournemouth.
Oh, what a fabulous goal! Mo Barrow! His first goal of the season, and it's an absolute beauty. And he shares the celebration with Bafatambi Gomis and others. What a response!
One name that everybody will be looking on that list is Modou Seka Barrow.
He's a very important player in this team. Likewise, all the other players are very important, and I expect we can get the chemistry fixed, let it gel, let it work. When you have Modou Barrow and others playing, you won't notice who is who, but you will see the Gambia national team playing well. He's a good player. Nobody will say no to that, and he is one of the players playing in the highest league, which is in the Premiership.
The Scorpions are currently sitting second place from bottom in Group M of the 2017 African Cup of Nations qualifiers with a single point in 2 games, whilst Mauritania occupies second place with 3 points, behind the group leaders Cameroon, who sit on top with 6 points. So a win in Mauritania will revive the country's hopes of a maiden qualification to the continent's showpiece football event. Sang and his team will travel to Dakar, Senegal on Sunday for a 3-day camp before proceeding to Mauritania. Mohamed S. Jallo, GRT Sports.
And from sports, we shift our attention to the weather report courtesy of the Central Forecast Office.
Good evening and welcome to the weather forecast. The Gambia has been sunny and warm during the past 24 hours. And for the satellite image shows medium clouds over the Gulf of Guinea, central and southern part of Africa. Tonight the weather will be cool and breezy over the coastal areas, whereas the inland areas will be relatively warm and misty. And for the day tomorrow, the weather is expected to be misty and cool during the early hours of the morning, becoming sunny and hot in the afternoon. Surface wind will mainly be northwesterlies in direction and the speed will vary between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures across the country will be 19 degrees over the Greater Banjul and Lower River, 16 over West Coast and North Bank, 20 over Central and 21 over Upper River region. And for the maximum temperatures will be 34 degrees over the Greater Banjul, 39 over West Coast and North Bank, 40 over Lower River, while 42 over Central and Upper River region. Low tide will be 0.6 meters at 12 p.m. High tide will be 1.4 meters at 7 a.m. and 1.5 meters at 7 p.m. Wave will be 2 to 3 meters northwesterly swells. The sun will rise at 11 minutes after 7 in the morning and set at 17 minutes after 7 in the evening. That was the forecast. Thanks for watching and good night.
That was Ami with the weather, and we apologize for the slight hitch in the sound quality. And with that, we come to the end of this newscast. But before we take leave of you, a quick reminder of our day's main stories. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi has described the resumption of diplomatic ties between Beijing and Banjul as an historic moment for the two nations. The Agriculture Minister has received produce from farms cultivated by the staff of the Office of the President and Refugee Sofara Association. Gambia government and the Food and Agriculture Organization have launched a technical cooperation program designed to enhance commercial poultry production in the country. And investigators in Belgium have said that the November 2015 Paris attack was planned in Brussels. Well, viewers, that was all for this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Do stay with us, and I'm your presenter, TENENNEG. Have a good evening.